Hey guys, how's it going? Steven here. Just doing a quick look at the game called Astebreed. It's a neat little shoot 'em up kind of don't really fly. You just move around while the ship flies for you kind of game. Uh, Relatively new, made by a small indie company in Japan. I picked it up pretty cheap on the Japan Humble Bundle recently. It's a fun game. I'm usually not into these kind of games, but this one's actually super easy. Made by the fact of that big sword that my robot has there. Um, you just press that and win basically, except against bosses, of course. Uh, that big circle that you see me keep popping out is like a homing device, and you can use that, and you can use a focused gun attack and a scatter gun attack, depending on what button you use. And there's a lot of enemies that they throw at you, but it's still extremely easy because normally on those in these kind of games you only got like one, maybe two hits you can take. You've got a whole bar of health there that constantly recharges as long as you haven't taken damage for a couple seconds. And that's really cool because I've always wanted to be able to get into these games, but I'm just not good at them. I mean, I love Raiden and R-Type and stuff like that, Ikaruga, but I'm just not good at them. And so it takes me infinite lives to be able to even get to the end. But so this one's really fun. Uh, the bosses are still sort of challenging, and the blade doesn't stop all the attacks like those red ones there. As you can see, it doesn't do nothing to them, as I find out the hard way. Face planting right into them. But it's an interesting game the way they do some of the stuff. Like there's no cutscenes, but it actually has a story that they do through little text at the bottom, and they even have voice acting, which it's all in Japanese, which be expected. Like I said, small indie company in Japan, but it's a good voice acting quality as far as I can tell. Haven't got terribly far into the game, but it's a blast so far. Doesn't look like there's any kind of upgrades or anything though, at least not yet. Um, but the game's great. I mean, the graphics are they're really good. You usually see the bullet effects are they look great. And there's no even with all the enemies in the screen, there's no FPS drops or anything like that, which is good. It's very good. Panzer Dragoon and those other games I mentioned earlier, Ikaruga and Raiden and stuff like that, where like you're not set to this, you know, one direction. The battle, how the level takes you, will change the direction you move in, the way the enemies come in, and it even changes the way your shots work. Like you've got two different charges. Mainly use that big circle one, but you can also hold down the focus beam attack, and it will also home in, but only in a small cone, but do a lot more damage. It's more focused, obviously. Um, it's got a decent story so far. I mean, I don't want to talk, really divulge any story points at all. It, but it's interesting. Game, like I said, the game looks great, plays beautifully. It's a decent little game. I mean, if you're into these kind of games, it's definitely something to pick up. And if you're not, I mean, if you're looking for maybe a way, like an entry point into into this kind of game, this was something I found to be very, very useful. Cause like I said, it's not terribly easy. That like the bosses kick your ass, but or my ass. I'm bad at the game. That's really all it is. but but as long as you don't take damage for a little bit, your health recharges, and that's awesome. That's what's up. But like I said, yeah, just I fully recommend it. It's a fun game. They switch it up almost constantly, doing different things. It's not the same static viewpoint, and that's awesome. And they give you different challenges and different. The enemy types are hugely varied. Um, but as far as videos like this goes, I think I'm going to start doing these where I pick a game in my Steam library and play it for a little bit, and then talk about it with you guys and tell you how I feel about it and if you should pick it up. That's if you actually care about my opinion, which you probably don't. I don't, so you shouldn't either. But if you do, that's cool. All right, guys. Well, let's go and later.